What kind of advice would you give to the upcoming draft class coming into the league? Some got to wait, some come in right away. What advice would you give them?
Just enjoy the process of it. Everyone has a different path to getting to the NHL. Everyone has a different, the work is all the same. I think the amount of work it takes to get to the NHL is all the same, but everyone has different timelines, and don't be discouraged by that.
Last question I've been asking everyone is kind of memories of street hockey growing up. Like, what's the first thing that you remember that comes to mind that was just, it sticks right out when you think of street hockey?
Yeah, a lot of game-winning goals in street hockey. A lot of bumps and bruises, and a lot of smiles. So you think back to street hockey. It's some of the great memories of friends and friendships that you build, as well as just being outside and enjoying every moment of it.
Thanks so much.
No problem.
I've had a couple of weeks to kind of digest it. Just a thought on the season and how close you guys were.
Yeah, no, we were close, but close isn't good enough in this league, and I think that's. You look back and reflect, and you're just not satisfied with the end result.
What could you have done differently, or is there just sometimes the breaks just go not your way?
No, I mean to win you need a little bit of everything. I think you need to up your effort by 1%, your execution by 1%. I mean, you do need breaks, but at the same time, you create your own luck, especially at that time of the year. So that's it. Moments like it just makes you hungrier to get back and get back at it next year.
Is the fact that Vegas won better or worse, or feed you more? Losing to the champions 2 years in a row?
I think just knowing the belief that we kind of had in our group, and how strongly we felt about the guys in that room. That stings no matter who you lose to. And with that said, there's a lot of guys that I feel like we'll be looking around our room and have that taste in our mouth when September and October come back around.
I just want to thought, you see him every day. Just the season Connor put together. When you look back at those numbers and you go, holy cow, unbelievable.
Yeah, it was incredible. I think obviously not just the numbers he put up, but the amount of effort and work he brought to the rink every day. I think his work and his push of the team, his leadership, even took another step. As great as it was, and as great as the numbers showed, just like what he brought to the rink every day was even bigger than that.
What's his ceiling? Can he get what you look at that? Holy cow! He's going into his prime. 163 points.
I'm not going to put a ceiling on that. I don't know.
Darnell, when you look at the season, how much do you look at the big picture when you look at the teams like Tampa Bay, Colorado? It took them years to kind of break through that ceiling and get to the top of the mountain. How much do you kind of keep that in mind going forward with that second round exit this year?
Yeah, in the moment and when you're looking back, you just kind of reflect on your own team and your own game and your own experience in that moment. But like you said, there's so many different examples that you look back to that you just need to keep knocking on that door and giving yourself a chance to play late in the season. And you can't be discouraged. You just got to feed that fire and feed that fuel for the next year.
What is the biggest lesson that you learned about your group, specifically your leadership group in this past season?
I think we showed. We showed our ability to not give up, to not quit. It was another year where we were tested. There was a lot of ebbs and flows to the regular season, and we were able to use some of those lessons to kind of catapult ourselves into a really good spot going into the playoffs and battling through 2 rounds. So we have a resilient group. It's something that I think we've been building over the last couple of years. With that said, you want that resiliency to turn into that final ultimate goal. So you just got to keep working at it.
When you look at the last line of defense with Stuart Skinner, obviously his first year in the National Hockey League, he gets an all-star nod now here at the awards in Nashville. How do you reflect and kind of take us through some of the learning curve that you experienced yourself as his teammate throughout the year?
Yeah, he was incredible for us, really from training camp on. He came in, he brought an amount of work and each and every day. He wanted to push, and he wasn't sitting there and just being comfortable. Wanted to come in and be a backup goalie. He wanted to come in and take that job, and he wanted to push each guy in our group to be better, and that's what he did all year long, and that's why he's being recognized so much this year, because what he did for our team. Was a huge. He was a huge reason why we got to the point that we were at.
Looking back at your year personally, how did you feel about your season?
I mean, there's a lot of positive. There's some things that could definitely be better and cleaned up. You look back from a numbers standpoint, and there was definitely some growth there, but it was sitting there out of the playoffs in the second round, and it's, as any player that plays a big role, you got to take ownership in that, and ownership in wanting to push to be better to get to that next step, because I mean it's a collection of individual efforts that push a team over the top. So from a personal standpoint, when you don't achieve the ultimate task of winning a Stanley Cup, there's room for improvement and room for growth, and that's the way I look at it.
Now, you saw Matthew Tkachuk a lot in Calgary. Obviously, he had a fantastic season. What makes him such a tough guy to play against?
Yeah, he's rare in the sense that he can bring that edge and not be knocked off his game offensively. It kind of feeds into it. Some people, you get wrapped up in one side of the game and can't compete in the other side, and he's able to bring them both together. So good for him. Yeah, good deal.
Sorry if you already answered this, but just what does it mean for you to be nominated for this award where, it's not on ice stuff that you're being recognized for, it's just the other important things off the ice?
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. I think, this award, I think it's cool to be recognized for it. The things you do off the ice, though, I mean, that's the whole point of it is not to be recognized for, right? It's just to try to make some change in other people's lives and use your platform or resources that you have to try to help someone in their pursuit of their dreams. So it's just cool to be recognized for it, though.
What does it mean for you when you hear from some of the like the scholarship winners or the people programs that you've helped, they reach out to you either whatever, social media, or just send you letters just to tell you, how much things that you've done have helped them?
Yeah, no, I didn't understand kind of the gravity of everything. I went to my old high school a couple weeks ago and was able to present our scholarships there and meet, the last two were over Zoom, so actually meet the recipients, and I've had some email exchanges, but to see them in person and their families, and it definitely hits home once you're there and in the moment, and you see, I mean, what I do is a very small thing to help in a way that they've achieved so much more, and I'm just happy that I can give them a little boost.
Lucas Letang's the finalist for Masterton. Just what's your thoughts on the year he had, the stroke, coming back from that, and everything he went through? Yeah,
it's incredible that he was, to go through some scares the way he did, and not only, health-wise, get yourself to a point where you feel comfortable and come back and playing, but it takes a lot too to go in that room and want to get back as fast as possible to play for your teammates, and as a teammate, or not a teammate, sorry, as a fellow player in the league, it's kind of incredible to see. Very inspiring.
Going back to your award and your willingness to give back to the community, who or what instilled that in you growing up, and why is it so important?
Yeah, I think there's a lot of examples for me. My parents, first and foremost, they worked so hard and made so many sacrifices so that I could play hockey and my sisters could play basketball and we could travel around. So those are the first signs of sacrifice I ever saw. And, my grandparents, both sets of grandparents, always willing to open their door and let family in if they needed a place to stay, if they needed a meal. I could look back. There was an old hockey shop, Kineski Sports, in Hamilton, and used to get my skates from there, and skates are expensive. You had to get them every year, and they would sometimes be like, you just come back in a few months and take care of it. Don't worry about it. And that, if the the owners there, like those little acts of kindness, those are things that as a person you carry with you, and and you just, when you get in the position that you can give back and help, just fortunate that I could do a little bit of that.